Hey, what's up guys, Jaeky here. Today we're going to be going over a Jett guide for Icebox. So I'm going to be going over all of the attacking entry paths I like to do for both sites, and then we're going to switch to defense as well and talk about defense. Starting with attack, let's go over the A site. I always like to go belt on Jett. So what you can do is you have two options. You can either just go up the normal way on the stairs like this and then take a duel from belt, or you can do an updraft either onto this box or onto the belt itself. If you're doing an updraft, usually you want to pair it with something like a Reyna leer. So you would get your Reyna to leer for you, and then you would updraft either on here and take fights onto this headshot angle as well as top sight, or you would updraft onto belt and take fights here all across these angles. Also remember, when you're updrafting, if you want to get the highest amount of elevation, you want to jump at the same time as your updraft, and that will make you go slightly higher than if you just do a regular updraft with no jump. So you want to do it at the exact same time as your updraft, not before, not after, exact same time, and you will get extra distance going up. Okay, another thing is when you're going belt, you want to make sure you're clearing the angles properly. So you want to first clear this bottom angle, and then I like to move on to this angle, and then we move on to the headshot angle, and then I like to position my crosshair to clear top sight, and also be aware of this cheeky angle right here. So a lot of people like to either play back here on rafters holding this angle, or they'll play right here on the edge of top sight holding the belt angle like this. That's something that I really like to do personally, so I always make sure to check this spot right here, and then you can move on to clearing pipes, top pipe, and clear pipes regularly. So once I get to about this point, this is where you want to start entering the site for your team. The most standard thing you can do here now is throw a cloudburst onto top 410, just like this. Pop your dash into your cloudburst. Make sure when you're dashing, you look left and you look right. So it would just look something like this, where you throw a cloudburst, clear left, clear right. And the most important thing to do when you're dashing is you don't really have to focus on your crosshair to clear it like visually. You can just flick your mouse to the left and right really fast, and if anybody is playing in these close corners, they will show up on your minimap. So you really just have to look at your minimap and you will see anybody that pops up on your minimap, even if you see them for like a fraction of a second. Okay, so after you've cleared all of these close angles for your team, you have several options. You can either jump up on top 410. Make sure you clear this also, by the way, the side of 410. You can either jump up here and hold the screens flood in like this. You can go across the zip to top sight and then take fights onto screen like this. Or what I like to do is you can glide over to gen just like this, and then hold back sight and heaven from top gen. So one cloudburst you can also throw to help you get on top gen is one of these. You can just throw this cloudburst to block off back sight, and then now you can glide over with a little bit more safety, and after your cloudburst fades, then you can start holding everything. And this top gen angle is really good for holding pretty much the entirety of backside and the heaven flood for your team. So really the only thing your team has to worry about is enemies flooding out this way, but even if they flood out this way, you can see them as well. So really strong position here to hold on top gen. Another way of getting onto this top gen angle, let's say you had to dodge a Sova dart or a Sova drone and you drop down from 410, or you just kind of missed your dash onto top 410, you can also throw this one way right here. So as I'm scaling on the right, what I like to do is throw this smoke right here and then updraft top gen. You can see that the smoke pretty much blocks off both of these angles, which gives you time to updraft onto top gen. So you just throw your little cloudburst, updraft onto top gen, the smoke fades, and then now you can take these duels, and now you have the control of all of this for your team. So yeah, now you can really just play out the round however you want. You can either stay up here, play post plant, or you can even glide over to rafters if you really wanted. So you could either throw a smoke here, glide over to rafters, and then now you have this fight onto deep spawn. So it's really up to you how you want to play that. But yeah, that's pretty much the entry path that I like to take as Jett. You can also go from the left. One thing that you want to keep in mind when you're scaling A on Icebox is if you want to go from the bottom here, it's better to go from belt. I'll show you what I mean. So instead of peeking like this, because the top gen angle is pretty strong and it can see all the way into deep A main. So instead of pathing from the bottom here, you expose yourself to a lot of different angles. Like they could also be fighting top pipe here. So instead of pathing like that, I like to go from belt. So instead of going on the right, I will actually go belt and then drop down on the left. And what this allows you to do is it allows you to get a better angle on this top gen guy. Like he will not see you drop down. So if you drop down from belt and you hug this wall the entire time, the top gen guy is actually not able to see you. So that's a safer way of doing it. But if I'm pathing from the right here, what I'll do is I will jump up on a pipe just like this. And then obviously you want to slice your pies and clear angles properly. So after you clear everything just like you would from belt, you can jump up on pipe here from the side. So if you actually go on the side of this pipe and then do a jump crouch, you can get on top of it, and now you can hold this deep line, and you can do the same thing and glide over to top 410, and you can pretty much play out this entry path the same as you would if you were coming from belt. So yeah, again, make sure you clear these close corners. Like if you're going pipe, obviously you can clear the right pretty easily, and then you can just walk up here and either swing this or pair it with some sort of initiator util, really up to you. Okay, let's move on to mid here. So very rarely do I go mid as a Jett unless the team calls a very specific strat. But one thing I do want to show you is this super dash that still works. Basically, you want to use this with your Jett knives, and it will pretty much let you get a lot of altitude to pretty much see all of their spawn. You can see the boiler guy as well. So this is how you do it. You want to pop your knives, and then you want to go up to this little black spot right here, crouch down, and then aim your crosshair to the left of this white line. So you see this white line right here. You just want to make sure that you're aiming around this general area. You're going to pop your dash, and what you're going to do is you are going to hit your dash and your jump key at the exact same time. And as you can see, this will launch you into the air, and you want to updraft once, and now you can get extra elevation to kill any one boiler. And then what I like to do with this glide is glide over to B, and now you're on top of this B main box. So that's pretty much the general path you want to take when you're doing the super dash. Once again, you just put your crosshair right here, and I find it's pretty consistent if you just put your crosshair here, dash and jump at the exact same time, and you will hit this super dash 99% of the time. As you can see all of boiler, and then using your extra glide, you want to glide over to B main and clear all of this. Pretty good for going into a B hit. But let's say you're going mid as a Jett. The most common thing to do here is just to dash onto top of tube. So throw your cloud burst down, dash. Make sure you look towards boiler to spot anybody that's there. You can come out of your cloud burst, and now you can start taking duels either towards snow pile, orange, top site. You can pretty much see all of this. The only thing you have to be worried about really is boiler, as well as this spot right here. So just be aware of these spots while you take your duels. But yeah, another thing you can do is literally just stay up here and cut off rotates as well. So that's mid. Let's talk about the B site entry paths. So what I like to do as Jett when going B is you just throw a cloud burst right here, updraft into it, and then you come out on top of this box, and now you have elevation on anybody fighting B. So you just want to pretty much scale like this. You can jump across this box right here. You can also check down here, but you should have a Sova drone incoming as well, or some sort of dart or anything to support you to help you clear all these close angles. If you don't have that, you can just take it slow and clear it all one by one. You're going to glide over to this one as well. Make sure you clear this close corner if you don't have a Sova drone coming in. So once you get to this point, what I like to do is you should still have one cloud burst and your dash up. So what you're going to do is you're going to throw your cloud burst right here. Just like that. You're going to pop your dash, and you're just going to dash into this cloud burst. Now, it's pretty important here that you have some sort of initiator util to help you clear yellow, such as a Sova dart that comes in and lands around here. It's not necessarily required, but it makes your life a lot easier. So you want to throw your cloud burst here, dash into it, and now you're going to come out of your cloud burst, and you're going to clear yellow for your team. So with that dart, you should know if somebody's yellow or not. If you don't have a dart, you just want to take it super safe and make sure you clear everything. You should have a Viper wall up as well, so you don't have to be worried about any of these angles. You should have a Viper wall covering all of this. So after you clear yellow, make sure you clear front yellow right here, just in case anyone's playing front yellow. And yeah, after you clear that, what I like to do now is I like to sit up here towards the edge so I can drop down to safety whenever I want. But what I like to do as Jett now is I like to just sit here and wait for this Viper wall to drop and take a duel. 9 times out of 10, you should be able to get a free kill on top yellow just because it's a super unexpected angle. So if you're up here, you should be able to get a free kill, and depending on the situation, you can either drop down or you can just stay up here and take more duels from different angles. But yeah, that's really up to you to decide. But that's the very basic entry path for B. You are just gonna, again, smoke here, updraft to get that info for your team. Make sure that you're clearing B main properly, clear under you as well, and glide over to these boxes. Make sure you're clearing all these rat angles. Smoke here, dash into it, come out of your smoke, clear yellow for your team. Make sure you clear front yellow as well right here, and then After that, you're just going to take fights after your Viper wall drops, and then you're just going to play the post plant as per usual. So unless you have some sort of like crazy specific strat, you're not really going to be going top side or anything like that. Okay, and that pretty much does it for the basic entry paths on attack. Now let's move over to defense. So for defense Icebox, especially on the A site, it's really important that you fight for A, especially as a duelist. You want to fight for this space and try and get a pick. Unless you're getting punished every round, you want to keep doing this. If you start getting punished, obviously you're going to have to adapt your playstyle and maybe start playing a little bit more passively. But at first, you always want to try and fight for this A main space. So what you're going to do as Jett is, I like to hug the barrier on the left here. You're just going to hug the barrier, and then you're either going to ask someone to break your dart for you, or you can break it yourself. Once the barrier drops, you're going to move forward, either break the dart yourself or have a teammate break it. And you can either take a fight right here, so you can either try and get on this deep line, get a pick, fall back, or you can hold an off angle like this, get a pick here, fall back. You're going to need somebody to hold your belt, so whether that's somebody top site or on any angle, really just somebody holding your belt so that you're not at risk of dying from belt. You're just going to hold like this, get a pick, run away, or you can hold deep, get a pick, run away. There's a lot of different ways to fight A main. The most important thing here is you're going to need support from your teammates. So you're going to want to ask for somebody to break your dart. Also, you're going to need somebody holding your belt as well. Just to increase your chances of success, you do want to have somebody helping you out. Another way you can fight A is going on this box right here. A lot of people, when they're trying to hit the zip, they actually go top site, and you're actually losing a bit of time if you go top site because the barrier is right here. So you don't want to go top site. You actually want to go on this box. It saves you a little bit of time because you don't have to wait for this barrier to drop. So once the round starts, you can zip across, either go onto pipe like this and fight this deep angle, or you can go across all the way, have someone break your dart, and you can insert into nest. And now you can fight from here, get a pick, and you can dash back into safety as well. So a lot of different options here. You can also just go top 410 like this and hold this off angle right here, get a pick, and then drop down. So yeah, a lot of different things you can do. The most powerful one is honestly just getting onto pipe right here. If you can get onto pipe, you don't even have to take like an immediate fight onto this deep angle if you don't want to. You can just sit here, get a pick onto this belt guy, and then dip. So there's a lot of different ways you can play around this pipe. Another spot you can play as Jett is top gen. So you can get here pretty easily. You can make this jump on any agent, but on Jett, obviously, it's pretty easy because you can just glide over like this. This deep angle right here is really good, especially if you're opping or you're outlawing. Any scoped weapon really is really good on this angle right here. You can just get a pick and drop. Another thing you can do as well, if you have your dash popped, if you hit it properly, you can actually land all the way on rafters like this and then take your next duel onto the belt guy. So if you time your dash properly and you're standing in the right spot, after you get this shot off, you can jump, dash over, and glide onto the rafters, and now you can take a second duel here, and you can also get onto this deep angle right here as well. So a lot of different fallback options if you are playing top gen. But yeah, that's really the main idea of A, is you want to take control of the space. One more thing that I like to do as well is I like to start off on the zip and then go across. If you don't hear anything A and you don't see any sort of dart or anything like that, you can actually jump off of the zip, glide over to belt, and now you can push up and take space for your team. So now you can have one guy rotating off to B just because you got all of this free information. The most important thing here is just fighting for this A space and getting that information for your team. You don't really want to play A passively because at that point it's a little bit harder to hold the site. So try to fight up for A whenever you can. Moving on to mid, there's really not much to say about mid. I don't really play mid that often as a Jett, but again, the same thing here. You want to try and take as much space as possible. If you're starting boiler, I like to drop down and then take this space. If there's a Viper orb here, you want to wait for it to disappear, and you want to hold this mid space for your team and try to get inserted as deep as possible. If you can get like into this corner, let's say, very, very strong. You can also push down tube as well. After the barrier drops, just hold shift, push down tube, and you can also get inserted the same way in mid. So it really just depends on how the other team is playing and whether or not you need this mid control. Same thing here on the window. You can jump up as well and hold like this as well. Moving on to the B site, pretty much the same idea here kind of on B, except I don't really find myself pushing up as often on B. If I'm playing B, it's either going to be from top yellow, so you can updraft onto top yellow and then hold like this. This is really good if you have an op as well. You can either hold this peak right here from this doorway, or you can hold deep. It's really up to you. Or you can even play bottom yellow just like this and just spot B. You can jump spot as well onto the deep angle by doing this silent jump spot To do a silent jump spot, you pretty much just hold crouch, jump, let go of crouch midair, and you will jump spot silently without making any noise. But yeah, you can also push up as well. So as Jett, you can push up to this box right here, pop your dash, off noise, and you can get a kill, dash out, and now you can fall back to safety, throw yourself a cloud burst, take different duels from either yellow or sight. So that's another option as well. Another thing that you can do is, as the barrier is dropping, on like the last 3 seconds of the barrier, time your updraft to where you're gliding as the barrier drops, and then when the barrier drops, you can land on top of here, and now you can fight from this top angle, which not a lot of people will expect, and you can get a free kill off this. So yeah, a lot of different options. I guess the main thing here is just to keep this B main space. You don't really want to be playing passive angles like top sight unless it's a very specific situation, and you definitely don't want to be playing like very deep here unless, like I said, it's a very specific situation. But for most regular rounds where it's 5v5 at the start, you want to be fighting for this B main space, just for the info at least, whether that's from top yellow to get this information for your team, or pushing up aggressively trying to go for a pick before you dash out. But yeah, these different angles are really good fallback options for sure. Like if you go and fall back from that initial fight, you can go top sight here as well and take a duel here. Depending on how the Viper wall is, if it's a bad Viper wall, you can sometimes get a gap top sight as well. Like I mentioned earlier, this angle right here on A is super strong. You want to go to the side here of top sight, and you can see their heads when they're swinging out belt. Very unexpected angle. You can get some nice one taps if you're confident in your aim. If you're playing passive, you can also sit top screens here and wait for the Viper wall to drop, and you can also get some kills from top screens as well. Very cheeky angle. Also back here on the back of rafters, you can get another headshot angle onto belt, and then everyone knows about this one, but there is a headshot angle here from this green box that you can use on belt as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That was my Jett guide for Icebox. I hope this video helps you out and you learned something new. If it did, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.